So I want to talk to you about a pair of cinema headphones that you may not have heard of, but you should definitely check out. This is the Audiophile Show. Hey guys, Obsidian is back, and this is the Mi Audio Matrix Cinema headphones. I don't know when they were released. What I do know is that there are quite a few versions of them, along with Mi Audio's line of cinema products. And I actually found these by accident. There is an ANC version, and I don't recommend getting that one as much as you might like ANC, and you know that I don't like ANC. That's not the reason I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that because the ratings and reviews on the ANC version aren't as good at all as with these. And here's the thing, I love a cinema experience, a real cinema experience. I have taken a lot of my high-end headphones and tried to use them as substitute cinema headphones. I've taken 7.1 headphones, 5.1 headphones. None of them ever gave me a real cinema experience. And if you want to know what a cinema experience is, in my opinion, it's one that draws you in and makes you forget that you are listening to something and puts you into the show. Also, when you don't have too much sub bass, because that actually gets quite annoying after a while. When you have enough bass, because rumbling bass all the time also gets annoying after a while. Proper balance and tonality with respect to the mid-range for voices, and for effects, and for things like treble, for things like bullet effects, metal hitting metal, concrete breaking up, and those things that really bring a movie scene to life. By the way, I'm sorry about the sunglasses, it's a medical thing. And these guys just fell on my radar. I have a few products from Mi Audio, and they've all performed really well. So when I saw the brand and I saw the price, which at the time was about $80 US, and on Amazon, and right now I checked, I think it was about $100 US on Amazon. You can get it refurbished for anywhere between, I'd say, $50 and $70 as well on Amazon. And they're still very much supported on Mi Audio's website. So, well, let me tell you why I am buying a second pair of these, just to keep in case something happens to this particular pair. The first thing about it, let me get into it as the things I like about it and the things I would change about it. Now, this is not a full in-depth appraisal, so it's very surface level, and I just want to bring across the information for you to know that this thing exists and you should have one. So the first thing is that it's a Bluetooth headphone, and you might think, Obsidian, you don't like Bluetooth headphones because of Bluetooth, but this is not so much about music as it is about the experience within cinema. So the fidelity of the audio, well, not necessarily fidelity, but the compression ratio of the audio and that kind of stuff doesn't really matter so much here as does the latency. And guess what? It comes with aptX low latency, and I have had absolutely no problem connecting them to my FIO BTA30 to get a lagless experience, if you want to call it that. So with low latency in tow, you're going to have a device connected to whatever you're viewing your video on, supporting aptX low latency as well. The other thing is that it's super light, and I like light headphones, but I also like some beefy feeling headphones, and it's entirely or 90-something% made of plastic, except for the spring steel headband, and that flexes really well without any problem or feeling as though it's going to break at any point. I mean, it's a travel headphone, of course, so it does fold in, and I you know me and travel headphones as well. So this one is breaking all the rules that Obsidian has set, and yet I'm still gushing over it. So it has to be something good about it, or something great. And don't worry, there is. Left and right are clearly marked. inside, so you can't get it wrong. And there are your typical slew of buttons for volume, function buttons, and one particular one that we're gonna talk about quickly, probably the most important button. One of the things I love the most is this pebbled faux leather section here. Now this is actually one way you can differentiate the ANC version from this version. The ANC version doesn't have this, but this, to me, being a leather crafter, that gives it a bit of charm and a bit of premium feeling to it. So I tend to buff it up a bit, give it a little shine, just to or replace it entirely and put some real pebble leather there and make it my version of premium. So all the buttons that you can't see are your typical buttons that I mentioned, but the one you can see, this button, I'm going to call it the multifunction button, because I'm not going to get into all the jargon that they put into it. And yes, there's a lot of naming conventions there. The one issue I think a lot of people are going to have is that it's a micro USB port. And I don't like to make complaints about that. Listen, one of these cables does not cost much. I have a few of them. So get one of these and pick whichever one you need to plug in and plug it in, right? And so I'm not going to make a complaint about that, but I understand why a lot of people do. And if that's a problem, don't make it a problem. Not for these, okay? So with respect to wireless headphones, anytime a wireless headphone gets in my hand, one of the first things I do before I test the wireless sound is that I plug it in with a cable into my own amp and DAC, and I listen to the natural tuning of the drivers. And this is a dynamic transducer. It's not very large. I can't remember the size offhand, maybe about 40 millimeters. And it's not that good. This is the surprise. It's not actually that good. I would not listen to it probably at all if I had to pick up a pair of headphones just to listen to music on a cable. And that really confused me, because when you put the headphones on and you enable or turn it on and the DSP comes on, you realize that there are wizards at Mi Audio. This thing has 4 features: clear voice plus music and bass, enhanced bass mode. For me, the best one is clear voice mode. That's just my opinion. And they actually give you the measurement charts to tell you, so you can see what's boosted, what's cut when you change your modes. You don't need to go through all that. You just need to change it and listen. Some people, like my wife, love the bass boost mode. I think it's actually just a massive bass shelf, to be honest with you. The music mode is designed to, I guess, make it music centric, which it doesn't really do. It's not bad. This is what I'm trying to get to. It's not terrible, but again, it's not something I'd pick up to listen to music with. However, the first 2, in my opinion, are absolutely genius. When I put on these headphones and I watch a movie that I've seen 1,000 times, it's not so much that I hear things that I didn't hear, it's that I hear the things, sometimes it happens, but I hear the things that I've heard all the time just as though they are now in the correct places. The soundstage naturally is not that wide. When you do put on the functions, it just automatically opens up, and you can watch. I watched a video. So here it is. I watched a video where there was a fight between 2 robots going on one in one area, and then like across the street there was this other fight that was happening. And I've watched that scene many times. I'm not kidding you, on speakers and on other headphones and that kind of thing. This was the first time I actually felt like I was inside of this fight, and that stuff that was going on in the end was going on in the end. And I literally turned my head like, where's that? Well, I want to see that fight, And I'm not exaggerating. There are headphones that try to do this and they don't accomplish it. This headphone is a tiny little piece of magic. And for the price point, I have never found anything that replicates the effect of being in a cinema as well and as competently as this. In fact, the last pair of cinema headphones that I ever listened to that gave me the sense of being in a cinema was somewhere within the $1,500 range, somewhere on there, and that's not making sense to me. At $100, $85, $65 refurbished, this is a no-brainer. This is an absolute no-brainer. There's so many things I want to tell you about this, but I don't want to keep this video going too long. I just wanted to tell you about it. The sub bass is sublime. You don't hear it all the time. And this is the thing, guys. This is like an audiophile. This is like every other headphone that you try to watch a movie with is like Beats by Dre trying to listen to music. Okay, you do get bass, you do get the bass, you do get the heights, you do get the mids, but it's kind of all over the place sometimes, and it's a little jumbled, and it has that V shape that gives you scoops out something that shouldn't be scooped out, and all these things. So you put on a pair of audiophile grade headphones, and you connect it to some audiophile grade gear. And suddenly you hear music for what it really is. All that boom boom bap stuff that was banging on your ears all the time and sounds great in a club, it's no longer there, but you still hear it. It sounds nuanced. It sounds well shaped. It sounds balanced. It's not bloated. It doesn't leak. None of those things. And you realize this is how it was meant to be, because the instruments are being replicated the way that they were recorded. This gives you the same sensation. If you listen to this and you want to hear your ears rumble, then you have the wrong idea, and I don't think you should get these. But absorb yourself into a copy of Man of Steel. Yes, it's the best movie. My favorite movie. And because they're so light, they disappear, okay? They don't sweat very much. You don't sweat very much in them. They don't get hot. The band at the top is extremely thin and light, so you don't really get that spot in your head that tends to, people tend to complain about. And this is something I need to tell you as well. When you put on Clear Voice or Clear Voice Plus mode, now there are only these 4 modes, so you can't turn off any of these, right? They're always on at some point, and the headphone remembers which one you had on last, so you don't have to keep selecting it. So if I have it on Clear Voice mode, and that's exactly what it does. It doesn't sacrifice anything else on that entire frequency range just to give you a clear voice. Is the vocals come into you, and then you feel like there are these loudspeakers in front of you giving you the vocals that you want to hear. When you want more of that, it's like getting a little brighter. I'll be honest. It gives a little more shine on the high end, and the vocals get a little more pronounced, and that's why I don't like it as much. And the bass boost mode, I'm gonna skip the music part because I don't use that for movies, but the bass boost mode gives you this sense that while it enhanced the bass greatly, it still feels like they didn't take too much away from the rest of the curve. Now, the measurement chart would differ, but it's about what you hear, right? And the reason I don't like the bass boost mode is that, yes, I like bass, but now it feels like it's trying to get into that territory of, a standard headphone trying to sound like a movie headphone. And while the bass isn't bad at all, it's very articulate. It's really, it's really well shaped. It really is well shaped, and it knows when to come in, when not to come in. I think that if they can boost the high end a bit, kind of even it out a little more, it would be probably my second favorite one, and I'd probably use that interchangeably. But for me, it's about the Clear Voice mode, which is the first one, and it's to hear. Sometimes I'm ducking bullets. there was a I'll give you this one joke before I wrap up. There was a point where I was watching some movie and there was something that happened here, and it's because of the fantastic imaging, but it's that the imaging isn't entirely natural. They can do things with it that I can accept for a movie as opposed to music, right? So I'm hearing something happening here, and it made me jump. So I spun around, and because I spun around with the headphones on my head, the sound moves with me. So I thought it went behind me, and I started to make this big circle, and I was to take the headphones off. And that's the kind of while that's not necessarily the kind of experience I want from a cinema thing, I just I'd like to sit back, watch it, and just experience it and absorb it. That was fun. That was absolutely fun. And to be honest, that can be achieved with a regular headphone that has excellent imaging as well. So, it's you have to give it what it's due, and while not taking away from it anything that it accomplishes well. I forgot to mention that if there was one thing I would change as well, it would be the size of the cups. While the cups are meant to be circumoral, they kind of are. And this is the strangest thing. They're both circumoral and supraoral at the same time. So I don't know if it kind of sits on your pinner and it doesn't really get inside unless you push it inside, but it doesn't feel that uncomfortable when you do. However, give me a half inch more in terms of space and it would sit right over your ears, and yeah, I think the experience will be probably even more sublime. So I rarely recommend headphones without doing a full appraisal. But I'm just going to come out and say I highly, highly, highly recommend these. I think you will have a wonderful time with them. It's on Amazon right now. It's called the Mi Audio Matrix Cinema headphone, and they really do take you to cinema. Seldom does that ever happen with any headphone, whether it's advertising it or not. These really do take you to cinema. Anyway, I'm gone on longer than I wanted to. I just needed to give you as much information as possible. If you want me to do a real appraisal on this, guys, and you're interested in that, I will. And I'll tell you more about the features. I'll tell you more about the sound, and I'll tell you some of the things that I did to get a little better sound in it, and examples of some of the movies that I've had the greatest effects from. Because remember something, not all movies are made equal, especially in the sound design. So this is the Audiophile Show, guys. Thank you for indulging me, and take a look at them. I'll see you in the next one. I'm Obsidian, and I'm out for now. Take care. I feel rude when I wear sunglasses and I talk to people, so at least I take it off here. Take care, guys. See you in the next one.